Hello, everyone. This is William Michael from the Watt Hour, and welcome back to day 5 of the vlog series. Today, we tackle some big topics ranging from threats in space from a geopolitical perspective and the next generation of energy solutions shaping our world. So let's get into it. So, today we are going to discuss space. And as we discuss space, some interesting news. There we go. So, get this one. So, satellites are no longer just tools, they've become targets. And a pro-Russian hacker group recently hijacked a Ukrainian television satellite, and they were able to hijack coverage to broadcast militaristic imagery showing how space is being weaponized. And worse, there's chatter about Russian space-based nuclear weapons capable of wiping out low Earth orbits, a scenario that could render space unusable. Now, that's why the HAPS webinar podcast episode 11 was so important with the HAPS Alliance, is that God forbid that an adversary wipe out low Earth orbit or satellites in space, we'll be able to quickly redeploy satellites in the stratosphere. And so that is why this is a dual use strategy, because of situations like we're seeing here. This is the X-37B, which is an amazing aircraft. My dream is to convert this into energy storage as well as a mobile energy storage data center. So when you think about this, it's important that the U.S. Space Force, as they are ramping up defenses to guard our space assets, some experts are calling this hacking of the television network satellite equivalent to the Cuban Missile Crisis in space, pointing to how fast the militarization of space is escalating. So, yeah, interesting article just came out on the AP News. The next one is small nuclear reactors. So when we take a look at what we've been talking about over the last couple weeks, over the last week, is that and Google has just announced a partnership with Cryos Power to build a small modular nuclear reactor in Tennessee, aiming to deliver 500 megawatts by 2030 to power its data centers. So this is a real deal. Nuclear power is here. This is not the same old nuclear reactors that we've seen in 3 Mile Island. And why this matters is that there is a massive amount of electricity that's going to be needed for edge data centers. And I have a lot to say about, actually, these are for hyperscale data centers. I have a lot to say about edge data centers and the decentralization of these data centers to still achieve the objectives of what we need for getting us all the AI and the processing required to enter into this brave new world. But yet we are still living in a world where we have the old school guard of data center operators needing to build these hyperscale data centers, which again, in my opinion, it's unsustainable. But thankfully, small nuclear reactors are here. There's actually technology where you can put a small radioisotopic cell, non-radioactive, in all of our homes, and believe it or not, it would power the home for 1,000 years. So there is this breakthrough technology that's out here. So small modular nuclear reactors are a big deal, and I'm really happy to see that this is happening. And then when we think about, moving forward and, what that means for the financial markets, there's plenty of opportunity to invest in these opportunities. And so it's extremely exciting. And the UN secretary is calling this a turning point. Fossil fuels are running out of road, and now solar is cheaper than fossil fuels by 41%, and clean energy investments reach $2 trillion by 2020 for, and obviously we're in 2025. And in here, Australians are paying off their mortgages with home battery savings. I live in a place in a part of the world where they have more solar energy than they know what to do with, and they have to sell that solar energy off into other markets, into other states. But this was the first home I've lived in that actually has solar power, and not necessarily battery backup, but solar power. It is unbelievable to see that my electricity bill is near zero, and we run this air conditioning day and night. So this is exciting to see where we're going with this. And there's this popular mechanics article here that talks about this disruptive technology that is very futuristic, that scientists have built a device that generates electricity directly from ambient moisture via evaporation, and it's called evapolectrics. Evapolectrics. It's still small scale, but it could lead to wearables or new energy harvest discovering. And so they have unveiled this breakthrough device. This is on Popular Mechanics, and this edition is most recent, um, August 13th. And so it's very interesting world that we live in right now. So other than that, there's so much to share. This is going to be a busy week. Construction is continuing on in our factory here for American Lithium Energy. It's so exciting to see that we will most likely become one of the largest lithium-ion battery manufacturers in the United States, and eventually, as we start scaling the world with high-value batteries for defense, aerospace, from UAVs, passenger aircraft, all the way down to, or all the way up to spacecraft, and all the work that we're doing alongside Space Force and many others. And then as well as expanding into this mobile energy storage, high value. So we have that going on this week. And I'll keep you posted. I still need to get out there with the camera and take some pictures, video, and showcase what we're doing. And this week, we're doing a podcast with Space Copy with Madison Friedman. And she's doing some interesting things with 3D printing in space, using regolith, which is the dirt on the moon, with the ability to do additive manufacturing and printing even in space, lunar surface, and beyond. And so how cool would that be? Being able to not only print the things that we need for space, but being able to maybe even one day print the very battery cells to enable everything that we're trying to do. And I'm also very excited about the direction we're heading when it comes to directed energy from a perspective of wirelessly transmitting electricity from point A to point B, which we saw in the HAPS Alliance, using an aircraft like that all the way into space. So that's a wrap on day 5. Space security is heating up. Oh my God. And energy innovation is everywhere, from nuclear to evaporation technology. So stay curious, stay engaged, and drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd like to know what you think about this. And also hit the like button. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe. And in those comments, I'd like to hear your thoughts about what energy breakthroughs below your mind. So I will see you tomorrow. Stay safe and make it great. This is Willie Michael out.